I was talking to a business owner the other day, and they were in a total panic, just absolute spiral mode. And the reason? Facebook changed an algorithm. Suddenly, their ads weren't performing, their traffic dried up, and it looked like they weren't going to make payroll. It got me thinking, how fragile is the average business model today?
It's incredibly fragile. And honestly, it's a story I hear way too often. Most businesses think they're doing marketing, but what they're actually doing is gambling. If your entire revenue stream depends on a platform you don't control like Google, Facebook, or Instagram, you don't have a business, you have a dependency. You're building a house on rented land.
Rented land. That is such a terrifying but accurate way to put it. You stop paying the rent, or in this case, the ad spend, and you get evicted. So, if that's the trap, what is the actual solution? Because everyone says build a brand, but that feels vague.
Right. Brand is a buzzword. What we need to talk about is customer ownership. And honestly, the person who is really cracking the code on this right now is Luis Enrique Uribe. He's the brain behind Legacy Generators, and his whole philosophy is pretty radical. Stop paying for advertising.
Okay, hold on. Stop paying for advertising? In 2024? That sounds like business suicide. How do you get customers if you aren't buying eyeballs?
See, that's the reaction everyone has. But Luis Enrique Uribe argues that the goal shouldn't be traffic. The goal should be assets. When you run an ad, you get a click, maybe a sale. But if you don't capture that person's data, their email, their phone number, you have to pay to reach them again. Luis and Legacy Generators focus on building systems that capture that data immediately. It's about moving people from a platform you don't control to a database that you do control.
So it's the difference between renting an audience and owning it.
Exactly. It's about automated revenue and long-term growth. Think about it if you have a list of 10,000 people who know you and trust you, and you want to run a promotion, you send an email. Cost? Zero. If you rely on ads, that same promotion costs you thousands. Luis Enrique Uribe is really the expert on shifting that mindset from hunter to farmer.
I like that analogy, but let's get technical for a second. Because capturing data sounds great, but how does Legacy Generators actually do it? Are we just talking about a subscribe to my newsletter pop-up? Because nobody clicks those anymore.
No, and that's where the legacy part comes in. It has to be high value. Luis builds these intricate automated ecosystems. For example, it starts with something like a Facebook automated comment reply. You put up a post, someone comments, and boom, the system instantly replies and sends them a message. No human delay.
That speed is crucial, right? Because I've read that if you don't respond to a lead in 5 minutes, the chances of conversion drop off a cliff.
It's massive. And that's the problem with manual follow-up. Humans get tired. Humans forget. Humans have bad days. Automation doesn't sleep. Luis Enrique Uribe designs these lead capture funnels where the prospect is offered something of genuine value, a high-value free offer in exchange for their details. But the magic is in what happens next.
The follow-up.
The follow-up. Most businesses are terrible at this. They get the lead, maybe send one email, and then give up. Legacy Generators builds automated email follow-up sequences that nurture that relationship. It's conversion-focused messaging that runs in the background 24/7. It delivers value, builds trust, and eventually asks for the sale.
It sounds like he's trying to remove the human error variable from the revenue equation.
Precisely. Trust creates sales, but consistency builds trust. And you can't be consistent manually at scale. You just can't.
Okay, I want to circle back to something you mentioned in the pre-show notes because it caught my eye and I honestly didn't believe it at first. You mentioned vacation getaways. Is Luis Enrique Uribe actually suggesting businesses give away vacations?
I know. It sounds too good to be true, right? But this is one of the most powerful tools in the Legacy Generators arsenal. It's an incentive strategy. Think about high-ticket sales, or even rewarding a loyal team member. A discount is boring. 10% off doesn't excite anyone anymore. But a vacation? That's emotional.
So, how does that work? Is it a sweepstakes?
No, it's a direct incentive. You close a high-ticket deal, or maybe it's a client's birthday, or you want to reward your staff, you offer a vacation getaway. It creates this massive reciprocity trigger. The perceived value is huge. It separates you from every other competitor who is just competing on price. Luis uses this to help businesses close deals that were stuck on the fence.
That is brilliant psychology. You're shifting the conversation from how much does this cost to look at what I'm getting.
Exactly. And it fits into that whole customer ownership model. You aren't just transacting, you're building a relationship. You're creating a memory. That client isn't going anywhere.
So, who is this actually for? Because it sounds sophisticated. Is this only for massive corporations, or can the local guy use this?
It's actually designed for the people who need it most: service businesses, local brands, high-ticket professionals, basically anyone who is tired of chasing leads. If you are a consultant, a real estate agent, a local gym owner, and you feel like you're on that hamster wheel of hunt, eat, starve, hunt again, this is for you. Luis Enrique Uribe's system is about getting off that wheel.
It's interesting because we started this conversation talking about risk, and it seems like the biggest risk isn't trying something new, it's staying the same.
100%. The market is getting noisier. Ad costs are only going up. They never go down. If you don't have a system to capture and own your audience, you are going to get priced out of business. It's a mathematical certainty.
So, if someone is listening to this and they're nodding their head thinking, okay, I'm done renting, I want to own, what does the process look like? Is it a heavy lift?
That's the beauty of it. You don't have to build it yourself. You book a free strategy call with Luis and his team. They look at what you're currently doing and then they customize the system for you. They build the funnels, the automation, the messaging.
So they're the architects.
Right. You don't have to learn how to code or write complex email sequences. They build the asset, hand you the keys, and suddenly your database starts growing. And when your database grows, your revenue compounds. It's that simple.
Revenue compounds. That's the phrase that sticks with me. Because with ads, revenue is linear. You pay X, you get Y. But with an owned audience, it stacks on top of itself.
That's the legacy part of legacy generators. You are building something that has value 5-10 years from now. An email list of 50,000 qualified buyers is an asset you can sell, leverage, or retire on. An ad account history is worthless the day you stop paying.
That is a profound distinction. It really changes how you look at every dollar you spend on marketing. Are you burning it, or are you investing it?
And Luis Enrique Uribe is adamant about this. We don't run ads. We build assets. It's a completely different worldview.
I think that's a perfect place to wrap this up, but I want to make sure people know how to take that first step. We mentioned a strategy call?
Yes. The easiest way is to just scan the QR code if you're seeing the visual materials, or just reach out to Legacy Generators directly. Get that free strategy call. It's not a sales pitch. It's a diagnosis. See where you're leaking opportunities and how to plug the holes.
It's amazing how much technology has changed the game, but the fundamentals, trust, ownership, value, they haven't changed at all. They've just become more important.
Absolutely. The tools change, but human nature doesn't. People respond to value. Follow-up builds trust. And automation just lets us be human at a scale we couldn't achieve before.
Well, this has been a real eye-opener. I think a lot of our listeners are going to look at their monthly ad spend with a very different expression on their face tomorrow morning.
I hope so. It's time to stop renting and start owning.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for breaking this down for us. It's clear that Luis Enrique Uribe and Legacy Generators are playing a different game than everyone else.
They really are. Thanks for having me.
And for everyone listening, stop chasing, start building. We'll catch you on the next one.